Welcome to Vibration Architect, where today we're breaking through the invisible walls that have been holding you back your entire life. Your beliefs, those silent architects of your reality, have been quietly limiting what you think is possible. But what if I told you that these walls exist only in your mind? Drawing from timeless wisdom of masters like William Walker Atkinson and James Allen, this audio guide reveals the extraordinary power your mind possesses to demolish these limitations and unlock potential you never knew existed. The transformation begins the moment you recognize that you, yes, you, are in complete control of your mental landscape. Subscribe now if you're ready to tear down those invisible walls and step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. Breaking belief barriers, rewiring your mind for limitless potential. Within the sacred temple of your mind lies a power so vast and transformative that, once fully awakened, no external circumstance could possibly limit your growth or achievement. This is not mere speculation or wishful thinking. It is the fundamental truth that has been taught by the greatest minds throughout human history. I speak to you today not as someone with abilities beyond your reach, but as a guide who has simply traveled further along the same path you now walk. Your mind operates on two distinct levels, the conscious and the subconscious, each playing a critical role in the creation of your life experience. The conscious mind observes, analyzes, and makes decisions, while the subconscious faithfully executes whatever programming it receives without question or judgment. The great tragedy of human existence is that most individuals never realize they hold complete dominion over this extraordinary mental mechanism. They live as though subject to forces beyond their control, never recognizing that they themselves are the authors of their limitations. In the pages that follow, we will systematically dismantle the architecture of restriction that has been built in your mind, often without your conscious participation. You will discover the origins of your most profound beliefs, identify those that have silently sabotaged your progress, and master the art of mental reconstruction. The journey we embark upon is not merely intellectual, but practical and transformative. Each chapter builds upon the last, providing you with specific techniques for recognizing, challenging, and ultimately replacing the belief systems that have defined the boundaries of your existence. The power to completely revolutionize your life experience resides within you at this very moment. It awaits only your direction, your focus, and your unwavering decision to claim it. Are you prepared to break free from the prison of limitation you have unknowingly constructed? Are you ready to step into the fullness of your true potential? Then let us begin this journey of transformation together as you discover the unlimited power of your magnificent mind. Chapter 1: The Invisible Architects. Where do our beliefs come from? Your mind is a magnificent kingdom, and you, its rightful sovereign, have been unwittingly surrendering your throne to invisible architects that have been designing your life without your conscious permission. These architects are your beliefs, powerful, persistent patterns of thought that determine not only what you think possible, but what your very experience of reality becomes. Before we can transform these beliefs, we must understand their origins. For as Atkinson wisely observed, to know thyself is the first step toward mastery. Every belief you currently hold was installed in your mental framework through one of several pathways. None of these beliefs appeared by accident, and understanding their source is the first step toward reclaiming your mental sovereignty. Let us examine these pathways with unflinching honesty, for in this examination lies the beginning of your liberation. The programming of childhood. The most fundamental layer of your belief system was established long before you developed the capacity for critical thinking. From your earliest moments, your developing mind absorbed the statements, attitudes, and emotional reactions of those around you, particularly authority figures like parents, teachers, and other influential adults. Their casual comments about money, success, happiness, health, and your own capabilities became the invisible architecture of your mental house. Consider for a moment, how many times were you told money doesn't grow on trees, or life is hard, or perhaps that people like us don't do things like that? Each statement, especially when delivered with emotional intensity or repetition, was received by your young mind as absolute truth, not as one perspective among many, but as the very structure of reality itself. Your subconscious mind, functioning as the faithful servant it is, has been diligently maintaining these structures ever since, regardless of whether they serve your highest good. The power of repetition. Repetition is the mother of learning, the father of action, the architect of accomplishment, wrote the great Theron Q. Dumont. Your beliefs have been fortified through countless repetitions, both external and internal. The messages you heard repeatedly from others eventually became the messages you repeat to yourself. This self-talk, this internal dialogue, has carved deep channels in your mental landscape, directing the flow of your thoughts along familiar, comfortable patterns, even when those patterns lead to limitation and frustration. Have you ever observed the automatic thoughts that arise when you attempt something new or ambitious? Do you hear supportive, encouraging messages, or do you hear the echo of doubts, warnings, and limitations? These thought patterns did not appear spontaneously. They were established through repetition until they became your mental default. Social consensus and authority. Humans are inherently social creatures, and the need to belong is written into the very fabric of our psychology. Many of your core beliefs were adopted simply because they represented the consensus of your social group, your family, community, culture, or peer group. The pressure to conform is not merely social, but neurological. Your brain is designed to seek alignment with the tribe as a survival mechanism. Additionally, you have likely adopted many beliefs simply because they were presented by figures you perceived as authorities. Whether religious leaders, teachers, experts, celebrities, or simply confident individuals, those who speak with certainty often bypass your critical faculties and install beliefs directly into your mental operating system. This is neither good nor bad in itself. It is simply a mechanism of mind that you must understand if you wish to become its master rather than its subject. The interpretation of experience. Perhaps the most powerful belief-forming mechanism is your interpretation of personal experience. When you encounter success or failure, joy or pain, your mind immediately begins searching for meaning, for the why behind the what. In this meaning-making process, beliefs are born. If you attempted something challenging and failed, did you conclude that you lacked ability or that you simply needed more practice? If someone rejected or criticized you, did you decide there was something fundamentally unacceptable about you? Or did you recognize that their reaction revealed more about their own limitations? The meaning you assigned to these experiences became the foundation for beliefs that have directed your choices ever since. The great revelation. Your beliefs are not facts. Now we arrive at the most liberating realization of this chapter. Your beliefs, regardless of their source or how deeply they are embedded in your psyche, are not facts. They are interpretations, perspectives, mental constructs that you have either consciously or unconsciously accepted as true. Even your most cherished and fundamental beliefs were installed through these mechanisms. This is not cause for alarm, but for celebration. For if your limiting beliefs were installed, they can be uninstalled. If your mental framework was constructed, it can be reconstructed. The same magnificent mind that accepted these beliefs has the power to question, challenge, and replace them. James Allen expressed this profound truth when he wrote, "A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts." Amours. You are not condemned to remain as you are. You are empowered to become what you choose to think. The beginning of mastery. As we conclude this first step in your journey, I invite you to begin observing your beliefs with new awareness. When you encounter limitation in your thoughts or feelings, pause and ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Who installed this in my mental operating system? Does this belief serve my highest potential, or does it constrain me? Simply bringing conscious awareness to the invisible architecture of your mind begins the process of reclaiming your sovereignty. Remember, your beliefs were not chosen by the powerful, conscious being you are today. They were largely installed when you lacked the discrimination and wisdom you now possess. You have already begun the transformation simply by reading these words with sincere intention. The light of your awareness is now shining into corners of your mind that have remained in darkness for too long. In the next chapter, we will develop specific techniques for identifying the core limiting beliefs that have been silently directing your life's journey. The power to reshape your mental kingdom is already within you. It has always been there, waiting only for you to claim it. Are you ready to continue this journey of self-discovery and transformation? Then let us proceed to identify the specific beliefs that have been limiting your boundless potential. Chapter 2. Identifying your core limitations. Uncovering hidden negative beliefs. The journey toward complete mental mastery continues as we venture deeper into the unexplored territory of your mind. Having recognized the sources of your beliefs, we must now illuminate the specific limiting beliefs that have been silently orchestrating your life experiences. As William Walker Atkinson wisely observed, the majority of persons are like leaves upon the water, drifting with the tide, carried one way or the other by outside forces. Today, you take another powerful step toward becoming not the leaf, but the current itself, the hidden nature of core beliefs. Your most powerful beliefs operate like the operating system of a computer, silently running in the background, invisible yet controlling every function. This is why the process of transformation can be challenging. We cannot change what we cannot see. Your core limiting beliefs have remained effective precisely because they operate beneath the threshold of your conscious awareness. These hidden beliefs are not weak simply because they are unconscious, quite the opposite. As Joseph Murphy taught, the subconscious mind makes no distinction between what is vividly imagined and what is objective. 1. To your subconscious, these beliefs are not opinions, but the very structure of reality itself. It faithfully creates experiences that align with these beliefs, regardless of whether you consciously desire such experiences. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns repeat in your life despite your best efforts to change them? Why certain goals remain perpetually just beyond your reach? The answer lies not in external circumstances, but in the invisible architecture of your belief system. The 4 domains of limiting beliefs. To uncover your core limitations, we must examine 4 primary domains where limiting beliefs typically operate. As we explore each domain, I urge you to listen not just with your intellect, but with your intuition. Your deeper self recognizes truth when it is presented. 1. Beliefs about self-worth and capability. The most fundamental beliefs concern your intrinsic value and abilities. These core convictions determine what you believe you deserve and what you believe you can accomplish. Ask yourself these revealing questions. Do you frequently compare yourself to others and find yourself lacking? Do you require perpetual achievement to feel worthy? Do you dismiss compliments while readily accepting criticism? Do you believe success must come through struggle and hardship? Do you feel you must prove your worth through perfect performance? Consider Thomas, a brilliant architect whose designs were revolutionary, yet who never submitted his work to major competitions. Upon examination, we discovered a core belief installed by a critical parent. Who do you think you are to stand out? This single belief, operating beneath his awareness, had effectively capped his professional achievement for decades. Once identified, its power began to dissolve in the light of conscious examination. 2. Beliefs about possibility and limitation. These beliefs define what you perceive as possible for someone like you within the structure of reality as you understand it. Explore these questions. Do you believe that extraordinary success is for other people, but not for you? Do you perceive certain fields or accomplishments as inherently beyond your reach? Do you believe that financial abundance requires exceptional luck or connection? Do you feel that your background, education, or past determines your future potential? Do you believe that most doors of opportunity are closed to you? Remember the wisdom of Charles Harnell. The only difference between success and failure is the difference in their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Your beliefs about what is possible create habitual patterns of perception that either expand or contract your horizon of opportunity. 3. Beliefs about relationship and connection. How you relate to others is profoundly shaped by your beliefs about connection, trust, and your place in the social fabric. Reflect on these indicators. Do you believe deep down that you must compromise your authentic self to be accepted? Do you expect betrayal or disappointment in close relationships? Do you believe you must be perpetually vigilant to protect yourself from others? Do you feel that vulnerability equals weakness? Do you believe that truly supportive relationships are rare or temporary? Consider Sarah, who consistently attracted partners who were emotionally unavailable despite her conscious desire for intimacy. The hidden belief driving this pattern was simple. If someone truly sees me, they will eventually leave. This belief, installed during childhood abandonment, created a self-fulfilling prophecy that persisted until it was brought into conscious awareness. 4. Beliefs about the nature of reality itself. Perhaps the most profound level of belief concerns your understanding of how the universe fundamentally operates, whether it is friendly or hostile, abundant or scarce, responsive to intention or random in its distribution of experience. Consider these revealing questions. Do you believe that life is inherently a struggle? Do you perceive success as a zero-sum game where someone must lose for you to win? Do you believe that luck, rather than consciousness, determines outcomes? Do you feel that the universe is indifferent or even hostile to your desires? Do you believe that suffering is noble or necessary for spiritual growth? Techniques for uncovering hidden beliefs. Now that you understand the domains where limiting beliefs operate, let us explore practical methods for bringing them into the light of conscious awareness. The process is not one of academic analysis, but of honest self-discovery. 1. The pattern recognition method. Your life experiences are not random, but reflect the precise architecture of your belief system. Examining the patterns in your life provides clear indicators of the beliefs operating beneath the surface. Take a sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns. In the first column, list the recurring patterns or challenges in your life, areas where you feel stuck or where you consistently experience unwanted outcomes. In the second column, write down what these patterns suggest you believe about yourself and reality. In the third column, identify the likely source of each belief. For example, pattern: always having just enough money but never abundance. Implied belief: financial security and struggle go hand in hand. Likely source: parents who constantly worried about money despite having enough. This exercise often reveals beliefs you would never consciously endorse, but which have nevertheless been directing your experience. 2. The emotional trigger technique. Strong emotional reactions, particularly those that seem disproportionate to the triggering circumstance, often indicate a core belief being activated. For the next week, maintain heightened awareness of moments when you experience sudden anxiety, anger, shame, or fear. In these moments, pause and ask yourself, what must I believe is true about me or the world for this situation to generate such a strong emotional response? The answer that arises, often spontaneously, reveals the underlying belief structure. For instance, intense anxiety when receiving recognition might reveal a belief that standing out is dangerous or that success invites punishment. 3. The assumption. Archaeology method. This powerful technique involves excavating the hidden assumptions beneath your conscious thoughts. Choose an area of life where you feel limited or stuck. Write down your conscious thoughts about why this limitation exists. Then for each reason, ask yourself, what would have to be true for this to be valid? Continue this process, drilling deeper with each layer until you reach beliefs that feel fundamental and emotionally charged. For example, limitation: I can't pursue my passion for writing. Conscious reason: I don't have enough time. Deeper assumption: pursuing creative work requires large blocks of uninterrupted time. Even deeper: my creative work must be perfect to be worthwhile. Core belief: I am not naturally talented enough to create valuable work without extraordinary effort. This process often reveals beliefs you never consciously formulated, but which have nevertheless been determining your choices. 4. The mentor mirror technique. Our reactions to others often reflect our beliefs about ourselves. This technique leverages this mirror effect for self-discovery. Identify 3 people you admire greatly and 3 whose behavior or choices you strongly judge or criticize. For each person, write down the specific qualities or actions that generate your admiration or judgment. Then ask yourself, what does my strong response to these qualities reveal about what I believe is possible, appropriate, or permissible for myself? Often, our harshest judgments of others reveal where we have most severely restricted ourselves through limiting beliefs. The courage to see clearly. As you apply these techniques, approach the process with compassion rather than judgment. Remember, you did not consciously choose these limiting beliefs. They were installed through experiences and influences often beyond your control. Your responsibility begins now, with the conscious choice to identify and ultimately transform these beliefs. Some of what you discover may surprise or even distress you. This is natural. As James Allen wrote, "Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound." The willingness to see your limiting beliefs clearly, without denial or rationalization, is the essential foundation for the transformation that follows. Your courage in this process of self-discovery is not mere psychological housekeeping. It is the essential first step toward reclaiming the magnificent power of your mind. For you cannot change what you cannot see, and you cannot rebuild what you have not first dismantled. In our next chapter, we will explore how these identified beliefs have been creating your reality through the belief-reality loop, the mechanism by which thoughts transform into experience. But for now, commit yourself fully to this process of discovery, approaching it not as an indictment of your past, but as preparation for an extraordinary future. Your limiting beliefs are not your identity. They are simply the temporary architecture of your mind. And you, the conscious, powerful being reading these words, are the architect who can rebuild this structure according to your highest vision. Chapter 3. The Belief-Reality Loop. How beliefs manifest experiences. You have now taken 2 significant steps on your journey to mental mastery, understanding the origins of your beliefs and identifying the specific limitations operating within your mental architecture. Now we come to perhaps the most powerful revelation of all, how these beliefs transform from mere thoughts into your tangible, experienced reality. As William Walker Atkinson proclaimed, "Thought takes form in action, and it is this magnificent process that we must now comprehend to claim your full power." The creative circuit of mind. Your mind operates as a perfect creative circuit, a closed loop in which beliefs generate thoughts, thoughts generate feelings, feelings generate actions, actions generate experiences, and experiences reinforce beliefs. This is not abstract philosophy, but the practical mechanics of your consciousness, the very process through which you have been creating your life, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Let us examine each stage of this creative circuit, for in understanding its operation lies your power to redirect its incredible force. Beliefs, the foundation of creation. At the foundation of this creative circuit lie your beliefs, those core convictions about yourself, others, and reality that you uncovered in the previous chapter. While often invisible to conscious awareness, these beliefs generate thousands of thoughts each day, all aligned with their fundamental premise. Consider a belief such as, "Success requires struggle and sacrifice." This single belief will generate countless thoughts that conform to its perspective. "This will be difficult. I must prepare for obstacles. Nothing worth having comes easily. I should be suspicious of simple solutions." None of these thoughts appears to be irrational on its surface, yet all reinforce the central limiting belief that ease and success are incompatible. Thoughts, the blueprint of experience. Your thoughts are not passive observations, but active blueprints for creation. As Charles Haanel taught, thought is energy. Active thought is active energy. Concentrated thought is concentrated energy. Each thought carries a specific vibrational quality that resonates throughout your being and extends into the universal field surrounding you. Most individuals believe they are merely responding to reality with their thoughts. never realizing they are actually creating reality through them. The average person generates approximately 60,000 thoughts per day, and neuroscience reveals that for most, 70 to 80% of these thoughts are negative or limiting in nature. When you understand that each thought is a creative instruction, you begin to comprehend the awesome responsibility and opportunity before you. Feelings, the energetic activator. While thoughts provide the blueprint, it is your feelings, your emotional states that energize these blueprints and prepare them for manifestation. Emotion, derived from the Latin emotere, literally means energy in motion. Your feelings are the fuel that powers your creative process. When a thought generates fear, anxiety, or doubt, these emotions send powerful signals throughout your body, altering your biochemistry, changing your vibrational frequency, and preparing you for limitation rather than expansion. Conversely, thoughts that generate enthusiasm, confidence, and determination create an entirely different energetic signature, one that aligns with success and fulfillment. As Joseph Murphy observed, the feeling is the prayer. It is not the words of your affirmations, but the feeling behind them that determines their creative power. This is why affirmations spoken without genuine feeling often fail to produce results. They lack the energetic activation necessary for manifestation. Actions. The physical expression. Your beliefs, thoughts, and feelings inevitably express themselves through your physical actions, or lack thereof. Consider how a belief in your own unworthiness might generate thoughts of potential rejection, which create feelings of anxiety, which then lead to actions such as speaking softly or apologetically, avoiding eye contact, declining opportunities to share your ideas, procrastinating on important projects, failing to negotiate for appropriate compensation. None of these actions is consciously chosen. Each is the natural expression of the belief-thought-feeling circuit operating within you. Conversely, a belief in your inherent value creates an entirely different set of actions, all aligned with confidence and self-respect. Experiences. The mirror of mind. The culmination of this creative circuit appears as your experiences, the events, circumstances, relationships, and outcomes that constitute your reality. These experiences are not random occurrences, but the precise reflection of your mental processes. When you deeply believe in abundance, think thoughts of sufficiency, feel the security of always having enough, and take actions aligned with prosperity consciousness, your experiences will inevitably reflect this inner condition. As James Allen eloquently stated, circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself. The reinforcement phase. Here is where the circuit completes itself. Your experiences, which originated in your beliefs, now return to reinforce those very beliefs. When limitation appears in your experience, your limiting beliefs appear justified and reasonable. When you experience rejection, beliefs about your unworthiness seem validated. The mind observes its own creation and says, "See, this proves what I've been thinking all along." This is how beliefs become increasingly entrenched over time, creating what appears to be unchangeable reality. The individual trapped in this unconscious loop might spend decades attempting to change circumstances while never addressing the beliefs that created those very circumstances. Breaking the loop, the point of power. Now, we arrive at the most liberating truth of this chapter. This creative circuit can be interrupted and redirected at any point. While changing external circumstances might be temporarily beyond your control, your beliefs, thoughts, and feelings are always accessible to conscious choice. You need not wait for new experiences to generate new beliefs. You can install new beliefs that will generate new experiences. This is not magical thinking, but the practical application of mental law, as real and reliable as gravity or mathematics. The case of Rebecca. The belief reality. Loop in action. Consider Rebecca, an accomplished professional who consistently found herself overlooked for leadership positions despite her exceptional qualifications. Through the techniques in our previous chapter, she identified a core belief. Leading others means being resented and ultimately rejected. This belief generated thoughts such as, "They probably won't take me seriously," and "Someone else would be more effective in that role." These thoughts created feelings of insecurity and resignation, which expressed themselves through actions like downplaying her accomplishments in meetings, offering suggestions tentatively, avoiding decisions that might be unpopular, deflecting recognition to others, even when unwarranted. These actions naturally created experiences of being passed over for promotion and leadership roles. These experiences then reinforced her original belief. "See, I'm not leadership material. People don't see me that way." The transformation began when Rebecca recognized this loop and chose to install a new core belief. "My leadership creates value for others and fulfillment for myself." Though initially uncomfortable with this new belief, she committed to reinforcing it through daily mental practice. Gradually, new thoughts emerged. "My perspective would be valuable in that discussion," and "I have a responsibility to contribute my best insights." These thoughts generated feelings of calm confidence and purpose, which expressed themselves through actions like speaking with clear conviction, making direct eye contact when presenting ideas, volunteering for challenging initiatives, respectfully advocating for her recommendations. Within 6 months, Rebecca was not only promoted to a leadership position, but found herself genuinely enjoying the role, free from the anxiety and self-doubt that had previously defined her professional identity. The scientific basis of belief manifestation. This process is not merely philosophical, but is supported by our understanding of neuroscience and quantum physics. Your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, functions as a filter, determining what information from millions of available data points will reach your conscious awareness. Your beliefs program this filter, causing you to notice evidence that confirms your existing beliefs while overlooking contradictory information. If you believe opportunities are scarce, your RAS will highlight every closed door while failing to register the many open ones all around you. Furthermore, quantum physics has demonstrated that the observer affects the observed, that consciousness itself influences the behavior of energy and matter at the most fundamental level. Your expectations, another expression of your beliefs, actually help shape the reality you experience. Practical application, observation without judgment. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to begin consciously observing the belief-reality loop operating in your life. For the next 7 days, select one area where you experience persistent limitation or frustration. Without trying to change anything, simply observe. What beliefs might be generating your experience in this area? What specific thoughts arise related to this situation? What feelings do these thoughts create? What actions or inactions result from these feelings? How do these actions create or contribute to your current experience? The simple act of conscious observation begins to loosen the automatic nature of this loop. As Atkinson taught, the moment one consciously realizes a truth, that moment one begins to change. The moment one begins to understand what a law means, that moment the law begins to operate for one's advantage. The gateway to transformation. You have now completed the essential foundation for the transformation to come. You understand the origins of your beliefs. You have identified your specific limitations, and you comprehend the mechanism through which these beliefs create your reality. In our next chapter, we will explore powerful techniques for challenging and dismantling limiting beliefs, the critical step before installing new, empowering beliefs in their place. But already, with the knowledge you now possess, you are no longer an unconscious participant in your life creation. You have begun the journey toward conscious authorship of your experience. The power has always been within you. The creative force of the universe flows through your thoughts at every moment. As you learn to direct this force with conscious intention, no limitation from your past need determine your future. As Thomas Troward observed, the law of flotation was not discovered by contemplating the sinking of things, but by contemplating the floating of things. Similarly, your freedom will not come from studying your limitations, but from contemplating the unlimited potential that is your true nature. Chapter 4. Question everything. Techniques for challenging limiting assumptions. Having mapped the territory of your beliefs and understood the magnificent mechanism through which they create your reality, you now stand at a pivotal moment in your journey. The time has come to question what has previously gone unquestioned, to challenge the assumptions that have silently dictated the boundaries of your life. As William Walker Atkinson declared, "He who regards himself as a creature of circumstances remains a creature of circumstances. He who regards himself as a creator of circumstances becomes a creator of circumstances." Your power to recreate yourself and your reality begins with the willingness to question everything you have previously accepted as truth. This chapter provides you with powerful, practical techniques for dismantling the mental prison of limiting assumptions. Techniques that have transformed countless lives when applied with sincere intention and persistence. The revolutionary act of questioning. The most revolutionary act you can perform is to question what you have been taught is unquestionable. Society, education, and sometimes even spiritual traditions encourage acceptance rather than examination. Yet every great advancement in human understanding has come from those who dared to question established truths. Consider that for centuries, humanity believed the Earth was the center of the universe, a fact so established that questioning it was considered heresy. Yet one person's willingness to question this assumption completely transformed our understanding of our place in the cosmos. Similarly, the limiting beliefs that have defined your personal universe await your courageous questioning. The distinction between truth and belief. Before we explore specific techniques, we must establish a crucial distinction between truth and belief. A truth is that which remains true regardless of whether you believe it. A belief is an acceptance that something is true, regardless of whether it actually is. Much of what you have been treating as truth is merely belief, and beliefs, unlike truths, can be changed. For instance, gravity is a truth. It operates whether you believe in it or not. But the belief, "I'm not creative," is not a truth. It is merely an interpretation that you have accepted. Once you recognize that many of your most limiting truths are actually changeable beliefs, your path to freedom becomes clear. 7 powerful techniques for challenging limiting assumptions. Let us now explore specific, practical methods for dismantling the limiting beliefs you have identified. Each technique approaches belief transformation from a different angle, providing you with a comprehensive toolkit for mental reconstruction. 1. The evidence examination method. This technique directly challenges the factual basis of your limiting beliefs by subjecting them to rigorous evidential scrutiny. Begin by writing down a limiting belief you've identified, stated as clearly as possible. For example, "I don't have what it takes to be successful in business." Now divide a page into 2 columns. In the first column, list all the objective evidence that supports this belief. In the second column, list all the evidence that contradicts it. Be brutally honest with yourself, searching for facts rather than feelings or interpretations. Most people discover something remarkable through this process. The evidence supporting their limiting beliefs consists primarily of interpretations, fears, and past experiences that have been overgeneralized. Meanwhile, the evidence contradicting these beliefs, though often overlooked, is usually more substantial and fact-based. Harold, a client who believed he lacked business acumen, initially cited his failed restaurant venture as evidence. When pressed to be comprehensive, however, he realized that he had successfully managed departmental budgets for years, consistently increased efficiency in his division, developed innovative cost-saving measures, been repeatedly trusted with increasing financial responsibility, successfully invested his personal funds. The single failure, viewed in context of this contradictory evidence, was clearly an isolated incident rather than a defining truth about his capabilities. 2. The origin invalidation technique. This powerful method undermines limiting beliefs by exposing the questionable circumstances of their origin. For each limiting belief you've identified, ask, "When did I first adopt this belief? From whom or what situation did I acquire it? What was that person's qualification to determine this truth about me or reality? Would I willingly choose to adopt this belief today, knowing what I now know?" Jennifer discovered that her belief, "I'm not intelligent enough for leadership roles," originated when she was placed in a remedial reading group in 3rd grade. This temporary placement, determined by a single teacher based on a single assessment, had shaped her self-perception for decades. When she recognized that she had granted life-defining authority to a situation that actually had very limited relevance, the belief began to lose its power over her. As James Allen observed, a man is not rightly conditioned until he is a happy, healthy, and prosperous being, and happiness, health, and prosperity are the result of a harmonious adjustment of the inner with the outer of the man with his surroundings. This technique helps you identify where this harmonious adjustment has been disrupted by beliefs from sources that no longer deserve such influence. 3. The logical fallacy detector. Many limiting beliefs persist not because they are valid, but because they employ logical fallacies that keep them from being properly examined. Learn to recognize these common fallacies in your beliefs. Overgeneralization. Taking one or two experiences and creating a universal rule. Example: I gave 2 poor presentations, therefore I'm a terrible public speaker. Black and white thinking. Seeing things in absolute all or nothing terms. Example: either I achieve perfect success or I'm a complete failure. Catastrophizing. Assuming the worst possible outcome is the most likely example. If I make a mistake, my reputation will be permanently destroyed. Mind reading. Assuming you know what others think without adequate evidence. Example: everyone in that meeting thought my ideas were worthless. B. Emotional reasoning. Assuming that your emotional reactions reflect objective reality. Example: I feel inadequate, therefore I am inadequate. When you identify these fallacies operating in your thinking, challenge them directly by asking, is this a rational, logical conclusion based on comprehensive evidence, or is it a distortion created by flawed reasoning? 4. The alternative interpretation method. This technique challenges the assumption that your interpretation of events is the only valid one. For any experience that seems to confirm your limiting belief, practice generating at least 3 alternative interpretations. For example, if you were not selected for a project and your limiting belief is, I'm not valued, alternative interpretations might include, the project required specific technical skills that others possessed. Management might be saving me for an upcoming project better suited to my strengths. The selection process may have been influenced by factors unrelated to capability, such as scheduling or departmental quotas. The point is not to determine which interpretation is correct, but to break the automatic assumption that your limiting interpretation is the only possibility. As you practice this technique, you'll develop greater flexibility in your thinking and weaken the hold of limiting interpretations. As Atkinson taught, the law of attraction brings to you what you mentally focus upon. Focus your mental powers upon the positive and desirable conditions will come. Focus them upon the negative and adverse conditions will come. 5. The identity separation exercise. This profound technique helps you disconnect limiting beliefs from your essential identity. Many limiting beliefs persist because they have become entangled with your sense of who you are. Statements like, I am shy, I am bad with money, or I am not creative, confuse temporary states or skills with your fundamental identity. To apply this technique, identify a limiting belief that contains I am language. Restate it as, a part of me sometimes experiences or behaves as if. Notice how this creates immediate psychological distance and flexibility. For example, instead of, I am disorganized, try, a part of me sometimes behaves in ways that appear disorganized. Instead of, I am a procrastinator, try, a part of me sometimes falls into patterns of procrastination. This subtle shift creates room for change by recognizing that these patterns are behaviors rather than identity. You are not your limitations. You are the awareness that observes them. 6. The historical success inventory. This technique directly challenges limiting beliefs by uncovering evidence of past successes that contradict them. Create a comprehensive inventory of past successes that directly contradict your limiting beliefs. For the belief, I can't handle pressure, you might list all the times you successfully handled pressure, including completing projects under tight deadlines, managing family crises, performing well during emergencies, adapting to unexpected changes. Be thorough and specific, recording details like how you felt, what actions you took, and what the outcomes were. This inventory provides concrete evidence against your limiting belief while simultaneously reminding you of your capabilities. As Charles Haanel wrote, "The real secret of power is consciousness of power." This technique helps restore your consciousness of the power you have already demonstrated, but may have forgotten. 7. The belief testing experiment. Perhaps the most powerful technique is to design deliberate experiments that test your limiting beliefs in real-world conditions. For each limiting belief, create a specific, manageable experiment that would provide evidence about its validity. For example, if you believe people won't value my input, your experiment might be to share at least one idea in each of your next 3 meetings and record the responses. If you believe I'm not disciplined enough to exercise regularly, your experiment might be to commit to just 10 minutes of exercise daily for 2 weeks, recording your consistency. The key is to make these experiments specific, time-limited, and designed to produce observable results. By treating your beliefs as hypotheses rather than truths, you create the opportunity for direct, personal evidence that can challenge even deeply entrenched limitations. The power of empowering questions. Beyond these specific techniques lies the broader practice of asking empowering questions. The quality of your life is determined in large part by the quality of questions you habitually ask yourself. When facing challenges, most people unconsciously ask disempowering questions like, "Why does this always happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I ever get this right? Who's to blame for this situation?" These questions direct your mind toward limitation, victim consciousness, and helplessness. By consciously shifting to empowering questions, you redirect your mental energy towards solutions and possibilities. What can I learn from this situation? How can I use this experience to grow stronger? What would this look like if it were easy? What's one small step I could take right now? As Joseph Murphy observed, the answer to your prayer is determined by your mental attitude. Empowering questions create an empowering mental attitude that attracts corresponding solutions. The mental muscle of doubt. Most people fear doubt, seeing it as the enemy of conviction and achievement. But strategic doubt directed at your limitations rather than your possibilities, is actually one of your most powerful allies. Learn to cultivate doubt about the permanence of your limitations, the accuracy of your negative self-assessments, the validity of discouraging predictions, the truthfulness of thoughts that diminish your power. As you practice the techniques in this chapter, you are developing this critical mental muscle, the capacity to question what limits you while simultaneously strengthening what empowers you. A daily practice for belief transformation. To integrate these techniques into your daily life, establish a regular practice of belief examination. Each morning or evening, take 10-15 minutes to identify one limiting belief that affected you during the day. Apply at least one of the questioning techniques to this belief. Record your insights and any new perspectives that emerge. Formulate one action you can take that contradicts the limiting belief. This daily practice prevents new limiting beliefs from taking root while gradually dismantling existing limitations. Remember, as Atkinson taught, the mind is your instrument. Learn to be its master and not its slave. The courage to question. As we conclude this chapter, I acknowledge that challenging deeply held beliefs requires genuine courage. These beliefs, regardless of how limiting they may be, have provided a sense of certainty and familiarity. Questioning them can initially create discomfort as your mind resists the dissolution of its established patterns. This discomfort is not a sign that you should stop. It is evidence that you are doing the essential work of transformation. Just as physical exercise creates temporary discomfort while building strength, mental exercise creates temporary uncertainty while building freedom. Have you not lived long enough with the limitations of unquestioned assumptions? Is it not time to discover what becomes possible when you challenge the mental constructs that have defined your boundaries? The techniques in this chapter provide the practical means to break free from limitation, but only you can supply the courage to apply them consistently. In our next chapter, we will explore the exciting process of planting new mental seeds, the empowering beliefs that will replace the limitations you are now dismantling. But remember, the ground must be cleared before new seeds can flourish. The questioning techniques you have learned here are the essential tools for preparing the soil of your mind for a magnificent new harvest. Chapter 5. Planting new seeds, crafting and installing empowering beliefs. Having cleared the ground of your mental garden by challenging limiting assumptions, you stand ready for the most creative phase of your transformation, planting new seeds of possibility in the fertile soil of your mind. As Atkinson wisely observed, the mind is a wonderful instrument, but its very complication renders it subject to becoming deranged in its adjustment, throwing its creative forces in the wrong direction or in directions contrary to the best interest of the individual. Now, you will deliberately direct these powerful forces toward your highest vision. Every great achievement in human history began as a thought, a belief that something previously impossible was, in fact, attainable. The light bulb, air travel, instantaneous global communication, all existed first as beliefs in the minds of those who eventually manifested them. Your personal achievements will follow the same pattern, beginning with the deliberate installation of empowering beliefs that will serve as the foundation for your expanded reality. The necessity of replacement nature abhors a vacuum, and this principle applies equally to your mental landscape. It is not enough to simply remove limiting beliefs. You must consciously install empowering alternatives to take their place. If you fail to do so, your mind will quickly fill the void with whatever thought patterns are most familiar, typically the very limitations you seek to transcend. This explains why many attempts at positive thinking ultimately fail. Individuals may temporarily clear limiting beliefs through affirmation or visualization, but without deliberately installing new belief structures, the mind inevitably reverts to its familiar patterns. As Charles Haanel explained, the old and the new, the true and the false, the good and the bad, are constantly in conflict, contending for supremacy. The law of substitution is an effective mental process for rendering the undesirable inactive. Principles for crafting. Empowering beliefs. Before exploring specific techniques, let us establish the fundamental principles that govern effective belief creation. These principles, drawn from both ancient wisdom and modern psychology, will ensure that your new beliefs have maximum transformative power. 1. The principle of believability. An empowering belief must exist in the sweet spot between your current acceptance and your desired outcome. If it stretches too far beyond what you can currently accept as possible, your subconscious will reject it outright. If it merely reinforces your current limitations, it offers no transformative potential. Consider Michael, who believed, "I'm terrible at public speaking." An immediately believable alternative might be, "I'm learning to express myself more effectively each time I speak." This belief acknowledges his current reality while creating room for growth. A belief like, "I am the world's greatest orator," would likely be rejected by his subconscious as absurd, generating resistance rather than transformation. The key is progressive expansion. Begin with beliefs that stretch your acceptance slightly, then gradually expand as your results confirm the new paradigm. As William James noted, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." 2. The principle of present tense positivity. Your subconscious mind responds most powerfully to statements framed in the positive present tense. It does not process negations effectively and does not distinguish between present and future tense when generating emotional responses. Instead of "I will stop being disorganized," craft beliefs like "I am becoming increasingly organized in my daily activities." Rather than "I won't let fear stop me," create "I act with courage in the face of uncertainty." This principle ensures that your beliefs generate immediate positive emotional responses rather than reinforcing what you wish to avoid. As James Allen taught, you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. 3. The principle of evidence alignment. Empowering beliefs gain strength when aligned with existing evidence in your experience. By anchoring new beliefs to proven capabilities or past successes, you create a bridge between your current self-concept and your expanded possibilities. For example, if you wish to install the belief, "I am a successful entrepreneur," but have limited business experience, you might begin with, "The same determination that helped me excel academically serves me well in building my business." This connects the new belief to established evidence of your capabilities. As Joseph Murphy explained, the only religious supplication worthwhile is the constructive use of your own powers of thought, whereby you impress your subconscious mind with the firm conviction of the Bible verse, "All things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive." 4. The principle of identity integration. The most powerful beliefs speak directly to your identity, to your understanding of who you fundamentally are. When a belief becomes part of your identity, it generates automatic thoughts, feelings, and behaviors consistent with that identity. Rather than, "I can earn more money," consider, "I am the kind of person who naturally attracts abundance through creating exceptional value." Instead of, "I can lose weight," craft, "I am someone who genuinely enjoys healthy foods and active living." This principle transforms beliefs from what you can do to who you are, generating lasting change at the deepest level of your being. As Atkinson wrote, "When a man says 'I am,' he is making a declaration regarding his existence and being. What he adds to the 'I am' indicates the qualities he is manifesting or wishes to manifest. Choose these additions with deliberate care." 5. The principle of emotional resonance. A belief's power is directly proportional to the positive emotional energy it generates. Your subconscious responds not to the intellectual content of a belief, but to the feeling it creates. When crafting new beliefs, prioritize those that create immediate feelings of excitement, possibility, relief, or empowerment. For many, the belief "I deserve success" generates stronger positive emotion than "I can achieve success," addressing a deeper level of self-worth. Similarly, "My unique perspective offers valuable insights to others" may create more emotional resonance than "I can contribute to discussions." As you consider potential new beliefs, pay careful attention to your emotional response. The beliefs that generate the strongest positive feelings will have the greatest transformative power. As Charles Haanel observed, the character of the mental image is being firmly established. It is eventually crystallized into reality for what you think that you become. 7 powerful techniques for installing empowering beliefs. Having established these principles, let us explore specific techniques for installing new beliefs in your mental operating system. Each approach offers a different pathway to belief integration, and I encourage you to experiment with all of them to discover which works most effectively for your unique mind. 1. The Belief Bridge Method. This technique creates a gradual pathway from your current belief to your desired belief, making the transformation more accessible to your subconscious mind. Begin by identifying a limiting belief you wish to transform, such as, "I don't have what it takes to be successful." Then create a series of incremental belief statements that progressively bridge the gap to your empowering alternative. "I possess everything necessary for extraordinary success." For example, current belief, "I don't have what it takes to be successful." Bridge belief 1. "I have succeeded in some areas of my life before." Bridge belief 2. "The skills that brought me success in those areas can be applied elsewhere." A bridge belief 3. "I am developing new capabilities every day through my experiences." Bridge belief 4. "Many successful people started with fewer advantages than I currently have." Bridge belief 5. "My unique combination of strengths and experiences provides a solid foundation for success." Destination. Belief. "I possess everything necessary for extraordinary success." Spend several days focusing on each bridge belief before progressing to the next. This gradual approach prevents the subconscious resistance that often arises when attempting too dramatic a shift. 2. The evidence collection system. This technique systematically accumulates evidence that supports your new belief, making it increasingly difficult for your mind to maintain contradictory beliefs. Select an empowering belief you wish to install, such as, "I communicate with clarity and impact." Then create a daily practice of recording all evidence that supports this belief, including past experiences that demonstrate this quality, feedback from others that confirms the belief, small daily successes related to the belief, observations of how you naturally express this quality in certain contexts, instances where you've improved in this area, however slightly. Keep this evidence in a dedicated journal or digital document, reviewing it regularly and adding new observations daily. As William James noted, if you want a quality, act as if you already had it. This technique helps you recognize that you already express the qualities you seek to strengthen. 3. The identity reinforcement ritual. This powerful technique creates a daily ritual that reinforces your new, empowering identity through deliberate physical and mental practices. Create a 5 to 10 minute morning ritual that includes physical posture and movement aligned with your new belief, standing tall, expansive gestures, facial expressions, verbal declarations of your new identity, spoken with conviction, visualization of yourself, embodying this identity in key situations, emotional amplification through music, breathing, or movement, symbolic actions that represent your commitment to this new identity. For example, someone installing the belief, "I am a confident leader," who inspires others, might stand in a powerful posture, verbally declare specific leadership qualities they embody, visualize successfully leading an important meeting, listen to music that evokes confidence, and physically step across a line on the floor, representing the threshold to their new identity. As Atkinson taught, act the part you wish to play in life. Put yourself in the mental attitude corresponding therewith, and you will gradually find yourself growing to it and attracting to yourself that which belongs to that mental attitude, character, and life. 4. The belief testing protocol. This technique provides your logical mind with empirical evidence of your new belief's validity, eliminating internal resistance. Select a new belief you wish to install. Then design a series of small, low-risk experiments that allow you to test this belief in real-world conditions. For the belief, "I can easily connect with new people," these experiments might include initiating a brief, friendly conversation with a store clerk, asking one thoughtful question at a meeting or event, giving a genuine compliment to someone you don't know well, responding to someone's social media post with a thoughtful comment, introducing yourself to one new person at a gathering. Begin with the experiments that feel most manageable, progressively challenging yourself as your confidence grows. Record the results of each experiment, noting particularly any evidence that confirms your new belief. This technique satisfies your analytical mind's need for evidence while gradually building a database of experiences that contradict your limiting beliefs. As Murphy observed, the subconscious mind responds to your habitual thinking. Demonstrate a little faith, and you shall have more faith. 5. The mentorship immersion method. This technique leverages the power of mental association with those who already embody your desired beliefs. Identify individuals, historical figures, public personalities, or people you know personally who embody the beliefs you wish to install. Create a daily practice of immersing yourself in their thinking through reading their writings or biographies, watching interviews or presentations they've given, listening to podcasts or audiobooks they've created, studying how they approach challenges similar to yours, imagining conversations with them about your specific situations. For each challenge you face, ask yourself, how would mentor approach this situation? What beliefs would guide their actions? This creates a powerful pattern. Interrupt when you encounter limiting thoughts, replacing them with the empowering perspective of your chosen mentor. As James Allen wrote, Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. By mentally associating with those who embody your desired beliefs, you gradually become more like them in your thinking. 6. The belief installation meditation. This technique uses the heightened receptivity of meditative states to bypass conscious resistance and install new beliefs directly into your subconscious. Create a 15 to 20-minute meditation practice. Begin with 5 minutes of breath focus to quiet the analytical mind. Introduce your new belief as a simple, clear statement. Visualize this belief as a golden light entering your mind. See this light illuminating past experiences, reinterpreting them through the lens of your new belief. Imagine future scenarios where this belief naturally expresses itself. Feel the emotional state associated with fully embodying this belief. Anchor this state with a physical gesture, touching thumb to finger, for example. Practice this meditation daily, ideally at times when your mind is naturally more receptive, upon waking, before sleep, or during periods of relaxation. As Charles Harnell explained, the subconscious can and will carry out any orders given it in a clear, definite manner. 7. The Belief Declaration Network. This technique creates external accountability and reinforcement for your new beliefs through selective sharing with supportive others. Identify 2 to 3 individuals who genuinely support your growth and share with them the empowering belief you are working to install, why this belief is important to you, specific ways they might help reinforce this belief, permission to gently challenge you when you express contrary beliefs. This external declaration creates multiple benefits: social accountability, environmental reinforcement, and the opportunity to hear your belief reflected back to you by others. As Dumont noted, the mind becomes that upon which it dwells, and hearing your empowering beliefs from trusted others provides powerful reinforcement. Handling resistance and doubt. As you begin installing new beliefs, you will invariably encounter resistance from your existing mental patterns. This resistance is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the transformation process. Just as physical exercise creates temporary discomfort while building strength, mental renovation creates temporary resistance while building new patterns. When you encounter doubt or resistance to your new beliefs, approach it with these strategies. 1. The doubt dialogue process. Rather than suppressing doubts, engage with them constructively through written dialogue. Write out your doubt as a question, then respond from the perspective of your highest wisdom. For example, doubt: who am I kidding? I've never been able to stick with anything. Response: that's a story based on selective memory. I've maintained my job for years, sustained important relationships, and completed numerous projects. The capacity for commitment exists within me. I simply need to apply it consistently to my highest priorities. This process acknowledges your concerns while reframing them within a larger context of possibility. 2. The expectation adjustment technique. Much resistance stems from unconscious expectations of immediate, complete transformation. Remind yourself that belief installation is a progressive process, not an instantaneous event. Create a realistic timeline for your belief transformation, acknowledging that the first stage is conscious awareness of both old and new beliefs. The second stage is increasing recognition of evidence supporting the new belief. The third stage is consistent thought patterns aligned with the new belief. The final stage is automatic embodiment of the new belief. By adjusting your expectations to this natural progression, you remove the frustration that often derails the process. 3. The resistance reframe method. This technique transforms resistance from an obstacle into a signpost pointing toward your most important growth. When you encounter strong resistance to a new belief, recognize this as evidence that you've identified a particularly significant area for transformation. The beliefs that generate the strongest resistance are typically those most central to your current identity, and therefore those with the greatest potential impact when transformed. Rather than avoiding this resistance, lean into it with curiosity. What makes this belief so threatening to my current self-concept? What would become possible if I moved beyond this limitation? As Murphy taught, The obstacle is the path. Your resistance reveals precisely where your greatest freedom awaits. A daily system for belief transformation. To integrate these techniques into your daily life, I recommend the following simple system. Morning practice, 10-15 minutes. Identity reinforcement ritual to embody your new belief. Review of your evidence collection document. Setting a specific intention for how you'll express this belief today. Throughout the day, use your physical anchor, from the belief installation meditation when facing challenges. Conduct one belief testing experiment. Notice and record new evidence supporting your belief. Evening practice, 10-15 minutes. Record the day's evidence and experiences in your journal. Perform the belief installation. Meditation. Identify one specific way you'll express your belief tomorrow. This system requires minimal time while creating the consistent reinforcement necessary for lasting transformation. As James Allen wrote, the soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. The compounding power of belief transformation. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to recognize the extraordinary power of the process you're undertaking. Each belief you transform creates ripple effects throughout your entire mental ecosystem, gradually reshaping your self-concept and consequently your experienced reality. Consider Elizabeth, who began with the seemingly simple belief transformation from "I'm uncomfortable in social situations" to "I naturally connect with others in authentic ways." As this new belief took root, she found herself speaking more confidently in professional settings, attracting more supportive relationships, taking leadership roles she previously avoided, expressing her creative ideas more freely, experiencing less anxiety in all areas of life. What appeared to be a focused change in one domain expanded to transform her entire experience of herself and her capabilities. This is the magnificent power of belief work. It creates compound growth that extends far beyond your initial focus. In our next chapter, we will explore how to reinforce your new beliefs through the powerful tools of affirmation and visualization. These techniques will accelerate the integration of your new beliefs, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of transformation. But remember, the foundation you're building in this chapter, the deliberate crafting and installation of empowering beliefs, is the essential groundwork for all that follows. You stand at a pivotal moment in your relationship with your own mind. Will you continue to accept the limiting beliefs installed by circumstance and unconscious absorption? Or will you claim your rightful role as the conscious architect of your mental framework? As William Walker Atkinson declared, "You are the master of your mind, not its servant or its slave. Assert the I and be free." Chapter 6. The role of affirmation and visualization. Reinforcing new beliefs. Having carefully crafted your empowering beliefs, you now stand ready to harness two of the most powerful tools for mental transformation available to humanity: affirmation and visualization. These are not mere positive thinking exercises, but precise instruments for impressing your newly chosen beliefs upon the subconscious mind. As William Walker Atkinson declared, "The subconscious mind is the great storehouse of mental power, the great workshop in which thought forces are evolved. Let us master it, rather than allow it to master us." What distinguishes the individual of extraordinary achievement from the person of ordinary results is not inherent capacity, but the deliberate training of mental forces through these twin practices. The techniques you will learn in this chapter have been employed by the most accomplished individuals throughout history, often intuitively, but now available to you as a systematic approach to mental mastery. The science behind affirmation and visualization. Before exploring specific techniques, it is essential to understand why these practices hold such transformative potential. Your subconscious mind, that vast reservoir of mental energy that directs most of your behavior, does not distinguish between an actual experience and one that is vividly imagined. This fundamental principle explains why a powerful visualization can generate the same physiological responses as a real event. Modern neuroscience confirms what ancient wisdom has long taught. repeated mental patterns create physical neural pathways in your brain. Each time you affirm or visualize your new belief, you are literally rewiring your neural architecture, creating stronger connections that eventually become your default mode of perception and response. As the pioneering neuropsychologist Donald Hebb observed, neurons that fire together, wire together. Furthermore, your subconscious responds most powerfully to repetition, consistent reinforcement, emotion, feelings associated with the affirmation or image, specificity, clear, detailed instructions, authority, statements delivered with conviction. The techniques in this chapter leverage these principles to maximize the impact of your mental practice, accelerating the integration of your new, empowering belief. The true purpose of affirmations. Many people misunderstand affirmations, viewing them merely as positive statements repeated in hopes of feeling better. This superficial approach explains why affirmations often fail to produce lasting change. The true purpose of an affirmation is not to make you temporarily feel positive, but to deliberately program your subconscious mind with new operating instructions. As Atkinson explained, an affirmation is a positive statement of a truth which one desires to impress upon one's mind and which one expects to manifest in external life. It is not wishful thinking, but a precise tool for mental reprogramming, a way of overriding the automatic thoughts generated by your old belief system until new patterns become dominant. When properly formulated and consistently applied, affirmations speak directly to your subconscious in language it cannot resist. They bypass the critical, analytical function of your conscious mind and plant seeds that, with proper nurturing, grow into new mental habits and ultimately into transformed experiences. 7 principles for creating powerful affirmations. To harness the full potential of affirmations for reinforcing your new beliefs, apply these 7 principles drawn from both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. 1. The principle of present tense formulation. Your subconscious mind operates in the eternal present. It does not process future tense in a way that generates immediate belief. Phrase your affirmations as though the desired state is already your reality. Instead of, "I will become confident in social situations," affirm, "I am confident and at ease in all social interactions." Rather than, "I will attract abundance," declare, "I am a natural magnet for prosperity and abundance in all forms." This present tense formulation generates an immediate cognitive dissonance between your affirmation and your current perception, a creative tension that your subconscious works to resolve by bringing your experience into alignment with your declaration. 2. The principle of positive construction. Your subconscious does not process negations effectively. When you affirm, "I am not afraid of public speaking," your mind focuses on and reinforces the very fear you wish to eliminate. Reconstruct all affirmations in positive terms. I speak with confidence and clarity before any audience. I maintain perfect health and vitality. I am completely worthy of success and fulfillment. Through positive construction, you direct your mental energy toward what you desire rather than what you wish to avoid. As James Allen observed, "You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you." 3. The principle of emotional integration. An affirmation's power multiplies exponentially when infused with genuine emotion. Mere intellectual repetition produces minimal results, while emotion-backed declarations create immediate shifts in your mental state. When affirming, "I am worthy of extraordinary success," consciously generate feelings of confidence, gratitude, and joyful expectation. As you declare, "I make decisions with clarity and wisdom," evoke the emotional states of certainty, peace, and conviction. Joseph Murphy explained this principle clearly. The feeling is the prayer. The emotion is the vibratory force that manifests the thought. Your emotional state, while affirming, determines much of your affirmation's effectiveness. 4. The principle of scientific specificity. Vague affirmations produce vague results. The more precise your mental instructions, the more specifically your subconscious can implement them. Rather than, "I am successful," affirm, "I provide exceptional value through my work. and am rewarded with increasing income and recognition. Instead of, I am healthy, declare, my body functions with perfect efficiency, renewing itself daily with vibrant energy and strength. This specificity gives your subconscious clear blueprints for manifestation. As Charles Haanel wrote, definiteness of purpose creates mental activity, and the more clearly and definitely this purpose is formulated, the more definite will be the results. 5. The principle of identity foundation. The most powerful affirmations address who you are rather than what you do. Your identity, your fundamental self-concept, determines your thoughts, feelings, and actions far more powerfully than any behavioral instruction. Transform. I exercise regularly to, I am the kind of person who naturally prioritizes physical vitality. Elevate. I save money to, I am a disciplined steward of abundance, making wise financial decisions naturally. By affirming at the identity level, you create cascading changes in all behaviors and experiences that flow from that identity. As Atkinson taught, the I am consciousness is the very center of our being, the point from which all power flows. 6. The principle of realistic progression. While your affirmations should stretch your current beliefs, too dramatic a leap creates internal resistance that blocks subconscious acceptance. Create a progression of affirmations that bridge from your current belief to your desired state. If financial struggle has been your reality, begin with, I am open to receiving increasing prosperity, before advancing to, I am naturally magnetic to extraordinary abundance. If social anxiety is your challenge, start with, I am becoming more comfortable in social situations, before affirming, I am completely confident and engaging in all social interactions. This progressive approach honors where you are while systematically expanding your belief boundaries, minimizing the resistance that often sabotages affirmation practice. 7. The principle of physical engagement. Your body and mind form an integrated system. Physical engagement dramatically amplifies the impact of verbal affirmations. Incorporate deliberate physical elements into your affirmation practice. Speak your affirmations aloud with powerful vocal projection. Stand in a posture of confidence and certainty. Use meaningful gestures that physically express your declaration. Maintain facial expressions congruent with the emotional state of your affirmation. Breathe deeply and rhythmically to enhance your energetic state. This multi-sensory approach creates a total system engagement that accelerates belief integration. As Dumont observed, the body follows where the mind leads, and the mind is influenced by the body's position and movement. A daily protocol for affirmation practice. To translate these principles into practical application, implement this 3-part daily protocol. Morning ritual, 5 to 7 minutes. Stand in a position of strength and confidence. Take 5 deep, energizing breaths to center yourself. Speak your core identity. Affirmation with full vocal power. 10 times. State 3-5. Supporting affirmations that elaborate on specific aspects of this identity. Close with a declaration of gratitude for your ongoing transformation. Midday reinforcement, 2-3 minutes. Find a private moment to center yourself with 3 deep breaths. Speak your core affirmation once with full conviction. Close your eyes and feel the truth of this statement for 30 seconds. Return to your activities with renewed alignment to your empowering belief. Evening integration, 5 minutes. In a relaxed position, breathe deeply to enter a receptive state. Silently repeat your core affirmation while in this receptive condition. Acknowledge ways you experienced or express this truth during your day. Set a clear intention to integrate this belief more deeply during sleep. This systematic approach creates multiple daily impressions on your subconscious, gradually shifting your default patterns of thought and feeling. As Murphy taught, you can remake your world by remaking your thinking. The transformative power of strategic visualization. While affirmations work through verbal declaration, visualization harnesses the tremendous power of your mental imagery to reinforce new beliefs. Your subconscious mind responds with particular intensity to images, which speak its native language more directly than words alone. Visualization is not mere daydreaming, but a precise psychological technology for imprinting specific mental patterns that your subconscious then works to externalize. As Atkinson explained, the visualized thought tends to take objective form. The mental image is the blueprint which the creative energies of the individual follow and materialize. The most successful individuals across all fields, from athletics to business, from science to the arts, use visualization consistently, whether intuitively or systematically. What they have discovered through practice, you can now apply through deliberate technique. 5 essential elements of effective visualization. To create visualizations that genuinely transform your beliefs and experiences, incorporate these 5 elements into your practice. 1. Multisensory engagement. Effective visualization engages all your senses, not just visual imagery. As you imagine a scenario demonstrating your new belief, consciously incorporate what you see in vivid detail and color, what you hear, including specific sounds and conversations, what you physically feel, including textures, temperature, and bodily sensations, what you smell and taste, if relevant to the scenario, the emotional qualities you experience in the situation. This multisensory approach creates an immersive experience that your subconscious processes as actual experience, accelerating belief integration. The more senses you engage, the more neural pathways are activated and strengthened. 2. Detailed specificity. Vague imagery produces minimal results. Create visualizations with precise, specific details that make the scene concrete and believable for your subconscious. Rather than vaguely imagining giving a successful presentation, visualize the specific room, including lighting and arrangement, the exact number of attendees and their expressions, your specific words and the confident tone of your voice, the particular questions asked and your artful responses, the specific positive feedback received afterward. This level of detail creates a complete mental template that your subconscious can work to match in your actual experience. As Harnell noted, the law is that thought will correlate with its object. Therefore, the specific thought must correlate with the specific object. 3. Process orientation. Many visualization practices fail because they focus exclusively on outcomes while ignoring the process of achievement. Your subconscious requires instructions not just for what to achieve, but how to achieve it. In your visualizations, include the specific actions you take leading to success, the particular thought processes you employ, how you handle challenges that arise, the exact sequence of events that unfolds, the personal qualities you demonstrate throughout the process. This process orientation provides your subconscious with a complete blueprint rather than merely a destination. As Murphy taught, the subconscious mind will accept your blueprint and work faithfully to bring it to pass. 4. Identity embodiment. The most powerful visualizations don't merely show you performing actions, they allow you to experience being the person who naturally performs those actions. This subtle difference transforms visualization from behavioral instruction to identity reinforcement. As you visualize, pay particular attention to how it feels to be this version of yourself, the natural confidence with which you act, the internal dialogue running through your mind, the values and priorities evident in your decisions, the way others respond to this authentic expression of your identity. This identity focus ensures that your visualization reinforces who you are becoming, rather than merely what you are doing. As James Allen wrote, you will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. 5. Emotional amplification. The emotional intensity of your visualization determines much of its impact on your subconscious. Deliberately amplify the positive emotions associated with your new belief to create deeper, more lasting impressions. During your visualization, feel genuine gratitude for this experience. Allow profound satisfaction to fill your body. Experience the joy of expressing your authentic self. Feel the excitement of new possibilities unfolding. Allow pride in your capabilities to expand within you. This emotional amplification creates powerful biochemical states that reinforce neural pathways associated with your new belief. As Atkinson observed, feeling is the secret of successful visualization. The power of a mental picture is in the feeling that it provokes. A systematic visualization protocol. To implement these principles effectively, follow this 3-phase visualization protocol. Preparation phase, 2 to 3 minutes. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Sit or recline in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take 10 deep, slow breaths. Progressively relax your body from head to toe. Affirm your receptivity. My mind is now receptive to new patterns of belief. Active visualization phase, 5 to 10 minutes. Begin with a clear scene. Demonstrating your new belief in action. Systematically engage all senses, creating a multidimensional experience. Experience the scene from within your body, not as an outside observer. Allow appropriate emotions to arise and intentionally amplify them. If the visualization fades or your mind wanders, gently return to the scene. Complete the visualization with a clear, successful conclusion. Integration phase, 2-3 minutes. Maintain your relaxed state with eyes still closed. Affirm, this experience is now impressed upon my subconscious mind. Feel gratitude for this new pattern being established within you. Gently return to normal awareness, carrying the feeling of the visualization with you. Write a brief note about your experience to reinforce its impact. Practice this protocol daily, ideally in the morning when your mind is fresh, or in the evening when your analytical faculties are naturally quieter. A consistent 10-15 minute practice will produce far greater results than occasional longer sessions. Combining affirmation and visualization for maximum impact. While powerful independently, affirmation and visualization create exponential results when strategically combined. This integration leverages complementary mental processes, verbal and imagistic, logical and intuitive, declarative and experiential, to create comprehensive belief reinforcement. Implement this combined approach through a simple daily ritual. Begin with your chosen affirmation, speaking it aloud with conviction. Close your eyes and create a vivid visualization of this affirmation in action. Return to the affirmation, now informed and energized by the visualization cycle between verbal affirmation and visual representation, 3 to 5 times. Conclude with a firm declaration. This is now my reality. This integrative practice creates multiple pathways to your subconscious, reinforcing your new belief through diverse mental channels. As Harnell explained, the whole process consists in coming into full and complete realization of the fact that the invisible is the real and the tangible is simply the outward manifestation. Overcoming common challenges in mental practice. Even with these powerful techniques at your disposal, you may encounter challenges in their implementation. Let us address the most common obstacles and their solutions. 1. The wandering mind. Many beginners find their mind wandering during affirmation or visualization practice. This is not failure, but simply the mind's habitual pattern asserting itself. Solution. When you notice your attention has wandered, gently return to your practice without self-criticism. Each time you redirect your attention, you strengthen your mental control. Begin with shorter sessions, 3 to 5 minutes, and gradually extend them as your concentration improves. 2. Emotional resistance. Sometimes you may feel emotional resistance when affirming or visualizing, especially when the new belief significantly challenges your existing self-concept. Solution. Step back to a more believable affirmation or visualization that creates less resistance. Remember the principle of realistic progression. It's better to move forward in small steps that feel authentic than to force yourself to accept too much too quickly. 3. Intellectual skepticism. Your analytical mind may question the process with thoughts like, "This is just imagination," or "I'm just saying words." Solution. Remind yourself that you're engaged in deliberate psychological reprogramming, not magical thinking. The scientific principles of neuroplasticity, cognitive restructuring, and psychological conditioning fully support these practices. As Atkinson advised, do not allow your intellect to argue you out of the practice. 4. Inconsistent practice. Perhaps the greatest challenge is maintaining consistent practice over time, particularly when results aren't immediately apparent. Solution: anchor your practice to an existing daily habit, like brushing your teeth or your morning coffee. To establish consistency, remember that mental reprogramming, like physical exercise, produces its greatest benefits through regular application rather than sporadic intensity. 5. Subconscious sabotage. Sometimes your practice may trigger subconscious resistance in the form of forgetting, procrastination, or sudden skepticism about the process. Solution: recognize these responses as evidence that you're addressing significant beliefs worth changing. Reaffirm your commitment to the process and perhaps examine what specific beliefs might be generating this resistance. Often, the areas of greatest resistance contain the greatest potential for transformation. Real-life transformation through affirmation and visualization. The techniques in this chapter have transformed countless lives when applied with consistency and sincerity. Consider the experience of James, a sales professional who had plateaued in his career despite considerable talent. Through self-examination, James identified a limiting belief. Exceptional success requires aggressive behavior that violates my values of integrity and service. This belief created an unconscious ceiling on his performance. He could be moderately successful while maintaining his values, but not exceptionally successful. James crafted a new belief. My commitment to integrity and service is precisely what enables my extraordinary success. He developed affirmations including, I am a sales leader who succeeds through exceptional service. My integrity naturally attracts ideal clients who value my approach. Each authentic interaction expands my success and fulfillment. He visualized specific scenarios demonstrating how his values-based approach led to exceptional results, seeing himself closing major accounts precisely because clients trusted his integrity. Within 3 months, James had broken through his performance plateau, achieving record sales without compromising his values. More importantly, he experienced a profound integration of parts of himself that had previously seemed in conflict. His ambition and his integrity now worked in harmony rather than opposition. This transformation, from inner conflict to alignment, from limitation to expansion, awaits you as you apply the techniques in this chapter. Your beliefs create your reality. Your affirmations and visualizations recreate your beliefs. The power to transform your experience has always resided within you, waiting only for your deliberate, consistent application. The bridge to unwavering faith. As we conclude this chapter, recognize that you are building a bridge between your current reality and the expanded reality you have chosen to create. Affirmation and visualization are not merely techniques, but sacred practices through which you claim your rightful role as the conscious creator of your experience. The consistency and sincerity of your practice will determine the speed and depth of your transformation. As Murphy taught, according to your faith is it done unto you. Faith is not blind belief, but the practiced conviction that comes from repeatedly impressing new patterns upon your subconscious mind. In our next chapter, we will explore how to transform this growing belief into unwavering faith, the kind of absolute certainty that moves mountains and reshapes reality. The affirmation and visualization practices you have learned here create the foundation for that absolute conviction. Begin today. Choose one empowering belief you wish to reinforce. Create an affirmation that captures its essence. Develop a visualization that brings it to life. Practice both with sincerity and consistency. Then watch as your inner transformation creates your outer revolution. As William Walker Atkinson declared, the strong, positive, expecting attitude will set into operation the strongest forces of human nature. Then expect great things. Through the faithful practice of the techniques in this chapter, you are establishing precisely this attitude. and the extraordinary results that inevitably follow. Chapter 7. Faith over Fear. Cultivating Unwavering Conviction. You now stand at the threshold of true mental mastery. Having identified your limiting beliefs, challenged their validity, crafted empowering alternatives, and reinforced them through affirmation and visualization, you approach the final and most powerful transformation: the elevation of intellectual understanding into unwavering conviction. As William Walker Atkinson declared, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and faith may be cultivated, encouraged, developed, and manifested. This chapter addresses the ultimate battleground of human consciousness, the eternal struggle between faith and fear. These opposing forces compete for dominion over your mind, and whichever prevails largely determines the reality you experience. Fear constricts, faith expands. Fear paralyzes, faith empowers. Fear focuses on limitation. Faith reveals infinite possibility. The choice between them defines not only your mental state, but the very fabric of your manifested life. The nature of faith and fear. Before exploring techniques for cultivating unwavering conviction, we must understand the fundamental nature of both faith and fear. These are not merely emotions, but distinct operating systems for consciousness, comprehensive frameworks through which you perceive and interact with reality. Faith defined. True faith transcends mere belief or hope. It is absolute knowing, a profound certainty that operates beyond intellectual understanding. As Joseph Murphy explained, faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. It is not blind acceptance, but trained perception that recognizes the invisible laws governing manifestation. Faith sees beyond current circumstances to the generative forces that create all circumstances. It perceives the invisible reality from which the visible emerges. Like the farmer who plants seeds in barren soil with complete confidence in the harvest to come, faith acknowledges the perfect operation of universal law without requiring immediate evidence. Fear defined. Fear, conversely, is not simply an emotion, but a comprehensive contraction of consciousness. It is faith inverted, absolute certainty in negative outcomes rather than positive ones. As Atkinson observed, fear is the deadly enemy of achievement, ambition, and success. It paralyzes the faculties, weakens the will, and causes defeat where victory should be. Most significantly, fear represents faithlessness, not in a religious sense, but in the profound disconnection from the creative forces of your own mind and the supportive nature of universal law. It is essentially faith in limitation rather than possibility, in failure rather than success, in lack rather than abundance. The competitive nature of faith and fear. Faith and fear cannot coexist with equal strength in the same mind. They compete for the same mental territory, and each seeks dominance. Like light and darkness, the presence of one diminishes the power of the other. As your faith grows, your fears naturally subside. As your fears expand, your faith inevitably contracts. This understanding reveals a crucial insight. You need not directly combat your fears. Instead, by deliberately cultivating faith, you create conditions in which fear cannot thrive. As James Allen wrote, "The will to do springs from the knowledge that we can do. Doubt and fear are the great enemies of knowledge, and he who encourages them, who does not slay them, thwarts himself at every step." The subconscious mind, where faith becomes power. The exceptional power of faith derives from its relationship with your subconscious mind. While intellectual belief remains at the conscious level, faith penetrates the subconscious, where all true power resides. When faith becomes fully impressed upon your subconscious, it automatically generates thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and actions aligned with its conviction. Charles Haanel explained this process clearly. The subconscious mind makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works with the material we feed it through our thought impulses. Therefore, the only path by which the infinite intelligence may reach us is through the subconscious mind. Faith that reaches the subconscious level creates a direct channel to what Hanel called the infinite intelligence, the creative force that forms worlds and shapes reality according to the patterns impressed upon it. Your unwavering conviction becomes the template that this intelligence works faithfully to manifest. 7 methods for cultivating unwavering conviction. Let us now explore 7 powerful methods for transforming intellectual understanding into unshakable faith, the kind of conviction that dissolves obstacles and manifests desires with seemingly miraculous efficiency. 1. The evidence immersion method. Faith flowers naturally in the presence of supporting evidence. This technique surrounds you with undeniable proof that your new beliefs are valid and your goals attainable. Create a dedicated evidence journal where you record historical evidence of your capabilities and past successes, examples of others who have achieved what you seek, small manifestations of your new beliefs already appearing, synchronicities and coincidences supporting your path, progress markers, however subtle, showing movement toward your vision. Review this journal daily, particularly in moments when doubt arises. This consistent exposure to supporting evidence gradually transforms intellectual understanding into bone-deep knowing. As Murphy taught, as you continue to affirm the good while your attention is focused on it, you will find that the power of the subconscious flows in the direction of your conscious thought. David, a struggling entrepreneur, created an evidence journal documenting every successful client interaction, every problem solved creatively, and every small financial improvement in his business. After 3 months of daily review, his tentative hope had transformed into unshakable confidence that his business would succeed, a conviction soon reflected in his company's dramatic growth. 2. The faith-action cycle. Faith and action exist in a reciprocal relationship. Each strengthens the other. This technique leverages this cycle to transform theoretical belief into embodied conviction. Identify small specific actions that someone with complete faith in your new belief would naturally take. Begin performing these actions daily, regardless of how you feel. For example, if developing faith in your leadership abilities, make one decisive declaration each day. If cultivating faith in abundance, make small generous gifts regularly. If building faith in your creativity, commit to daily creative expression. However brief, these actions need not be dramatic. Their power lies in consistency. Each action taken from faith generates evidence that strengthens faith, creating a positive spiral of increasing conviction. As Atkinson advised, act the part of the courageous man, and you grow more courageous. Act the part of the person having that quality in which you wish to excel, and you set into operation the psychological law which tends to make that quality your own. 3. The mental rehearsal system. This profound technique leverages your mind's inability to distinguish between vividly imagined experience and actual experience when generating emotional responses and neural pathways. Create a daily practice of mentally rehearsing situations that would typically trigger doubt or fear, while maintaining complete faith in your new belief. Enter a relaxed, receptive state through deep breathing. Vividly, imagine a challenging situation related to your goal. See yourself responding with absolute conviction in your new belief. Feel the emotional state of unwavering faith throughout the scenario. Experience the positive resolution that your faith naturally creates. Anchor this state. With a physical gesture you can use in real situations. Through consistent practice, you create neural pathways of faith-based response that become your automatic reaction when facing challenges. As Murphy explained, what is impressed on the subconscious is expressed. 4. The faith community method. Faith develops more rapidly in supportive environments where others share or reinforce your convictions. This technique creates intentional immersion in faith-strengthening relationships and communities. Take systematic action to surround yourself with faith-reinforcing influences. Identify and regularly connect with at least 3 people who demonstrate unwavering faith in possibilities. Join groups, online or in person, where your new beliefs are treated as obvious truths. Reduce exposure to individuals who express doubt, cynicism, or fear-based perspectives. Create accountability partnerships with others working to develop similar convictions. Share your vision with those who you know will. Respond with encouragement rather than doubt. This environmental approach acknowledges that faith, like all mental states, is profoundly influenced by social context. As Dumont noted, the mind becomes like that upon which it dwells, and the dweller influences the dwelling. 5. The adversity reframing process. This powerful technique transforms obstacles, often seen as reasons for doubt, into opportunities to strengthen faith. It directly challenges the tendency to interpret difficulties as evidence against your convictions. Develop a systematic practice for reframing adversity. When facing an obstacle or setback, acknowledge it without judgment. Ask empowering questions. How is this serving my growth? What opportunity does this present? Identify at least 3 potential benefits or lessons in the situation. Determine one specific action you can take that demonstrates faith despite circumstances. Take that action immediately, reinforcing your conviction through behavior. This practice develops adversity. Immunity, the capacity to maintain unwavering faith regardless of external circumstances. As James Allen wrote, "Circumstance does not make the man, it reveals him to himself." Through this technique, every challenge becomes an opportunity to reveal and strengthen your faith. 6. The sacred hour practice. This technique creates a daily ritual that systematically develops and deepens your faith through focused mental immersion. Establish a sacred hour, or even 15-30 minutes, each day dedicated exclusively to faith cultivation. Begin with physical centering through breath and posture. Read faith-strengthening material for 10 minutes. Write affirmative statements of your convictions for 5 minutes. Visualize the fulfillment of your faith for 10 minutes. Express gratitude for the manifestation as though already complete. Close with a declaration of unwavering conviction. This consistent practice creates a daily island of absolute faith that gradually expands to encompass your entire consciousness. As Charles Harnell explained, the real secret of power is consciousness of power. The universal mind is unconditional. Therefore, the more conscious we become of our unity with this mind, the less conscious we shall become of conditions and limitations. 7. The ultimate surrender technique. Perhaps the most profound method for developing unwavering faith is the deliberate surrender of doubt through a decisive act of mental commitment. This practice involves identifying the specific doubts that undermine your faith, writing these doubts on paper in complete detail, performing a symbolic ritual of surrender, burning the paper, burying it, or otherwise permanently releasing it, making a formal declaration of your decision to maintain unwavering faith, regardless of appearances, creating a symbolic reminder of this commitment that you carry or display. This ritual approach acknowledges the power of decisive moments in reshaping your mental orientation. Many who have achieved extraordinary results trace their success to a single moment when they shifted from doubt to absolute conviction. As Murphy observed, all great men and women, from Plato to Einstein, have explained inspirations, answered questions, and come to decisions in a way that transcended their rational processes. Overcoming the 5 primary forms of fear. As you cultivate unwavering conviction, you will inevitably encounter specific forms of fear that challenge your faith. Let us address the 5 most common fear patterns and specific techniques for transmuting each into deeper faith. 1. The fear of failure. This fundamental fear undermines faith by fixating on potential negative outcomes rather than desired results. Transmutation technique. The failure, recontextualization process. Recognize that failure is merely feedback, not a final verdict. Create a failure resume, listing your greatest failures and the growth they created. Identify 3 historical figures who experienced significant failure before their ultimate success. Establish a personal ritual for extracting wisdom from every failure. Practice celebrating efforts regardless of outcomes. As Atkinson declared, The man who is afraid to try fails much, more frequently than the man who attempts. By reframing failure as essential feedback within the larger process of success, you transform this fear into a faithful expectation of growth. 2. The fear of inadequacy. This insidious fear suggests that you lack what is necessary for success, undermining faith in your inherent capabilities. Transmutation technique. The capability inventory process. Create an exhaustive inventory of your current skills, strengths, and positive qualities. Identify specific instances where you successfully develop new capabilities. Recognize that all required skills can be acquired through focused attention. Affirm daily, I have within me everything necessary to achieve my vision. Create a specific plan to develop any skills you perceive as missing. This process shifts focus from perceived inadequacy to your demonstrated capacity for growth and your access to infinite intelligence. As Murphy taught, within your subconscious depths lie infinite wisdom, infinite power, an infinite supply of all that is necessary, which is waiting for development and expression. 3. The fear of disapproval. This social fear undermines faith by suggesting that success might bring criticism, rejection, or isolation. Transmutation technique. The independence declaration process. Identify whose approval you seek and why it seems important. Examine the actual consequences of disapproval, usually far less severe than imagined. Create a written declaration of independence from others' opinions. Develop a support system of those who encourage your highest vision. Practice small acts that risk disapproval, but align with your authentic values. This process liberates your faith from the constraints of social approval, allowing it to expand according to your true vision rather than others' expectations. As James Allen wrote, a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. 4. The fear of success. This paradoxical fear sabotages faith by creating unconscious resistance to actually achieving your desires. Transmutation technique. The success integration process. Identify specific concerns about how success might negatively impact your life. Create detailed visualizations of successfully managing these concerns. Develop a clear plan for maintaining core values amid success. Establish accountability systems to ensure alignment with your authentic self. Affirm daily, I am fully prepared to receive and manage the success I desire. This process resolves the unconscious conflicts that often undermine faith at the moment of potential manifestation. As Harnell observed, the necessary condition precedent to all power or success of every kind is the recognition of the power of the subconscious mind and the understanding of its law and working. 5. The fear of the unknown. This primal fear challenges faith by preferring the familiar limitations of the present to the uncertain possibilities of the future. Transmutation technique. The mystery embrace process. Recognize that all growth requires venturing into unknown territory. Create a historical timeline of instances where you successfully navigated uncertainty. Develop a daily affirmation. I embrace the unknown as the realm of infinite possibility. Practice small, regular adventures outside your comfort zone. Cultivate curiosity as your response to the unknown rather than anxiety. This process transforms the unknown from a threat to an adventure, removing a fundamental barrier to unwavering faith. As Atkinson wrote, the men who have achieved the greatest successes are those who have risen above fear and who have boldly faced the unknown, living from unwavering conviction. As your faith deepens through these practices, you begin to operate from a fundamentally different relationship with reality. You no longer perceive yourself as a hopeful petitioner, but as a confident creator working in harmony with universal law. This shift manifests in specific qualities that characterize the faith-centered mind. 1. Imperturbable calm. The individual of unwavering conviction maintains inner peace regardless of external circumstances. This calm springs not from denial, but from profound trust in the perfect operation of mental law. As Murphy observed, The man who remains serene, steadfast, and unmoved in the midst of all conditions is the true master. 2. Expectant certainty. Like the farmer who plants with absolute certainty of harvest, you operate with calm expectation that your mental seeds will bear fruit in due season. This is not wishful thinking, but recognition of cause and effect. As Harnell explained, we get what we give, but we must give it first. It will then return to us many-fold, and the giving is simply a mental process. 3. Present moment. Focus. Faith liberates you from the anxious projection into future outcomes, allowing full engagement with the present moment. This presence is not passive, but powerfully generative. You recognize that your current mental state creates your future experience. As James Allen wrote, "Today is the result of yesterday's thoughts. Tomorrow will be the result of today's thoughts." 4. Synchronized action. Your actions naturally align with your convictions without the internal conflict that characterizes doubt. You move decisively when opportunity presents itself, without second-guessing or hesitation. As Atkinson noted, faith without works is dead. The man of faith acts as if he already possessed that which he desires. 5. Graceful persistence. Obstacles are met not with frustration, but with increased determination and creativity. Faith recognizes that the path to manifestation often involves navigating challenges that strengthen rather than diminish your resolve. As Murphy taught, perseverance is a state of mind, therefore it can be cultivated. Persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. The ultimate test. Faith in the face of contrary evidence. The supreme demonstration of unwavering conviction is maintaining faith when all external evidence seems to contradict it. This capacity to hold your vision despite apparent failure, delay, or opposition distinguishes the truly transformed mind from one merely experimenting with positive thinking. Atkinson described this quality eloquently. The man of faith keeps his eye fixed upon the vision, and his mind filled with the perfect image of that which he is creating, in spite of all appearances to the contrary. He denies the evidence of the senses when that evidence conflicts with the higher truth which he knows. History's greatest achievements have come from individuals who maintained faith beyond reasonable expectation. Thomas Edison's thousands of failed attempts at creating the electric light bulb were sustained by unwavering conviction in his ultimate success. Henry Ford's persistence through multiple business failures reflected his absolute faith in his vision. Helen Keller's remarkable life demonstrated faith that transcended what others considered insurmountable limitations. A daily system for living from faith. To integrate unwavering conviction into your daily experience, implement this simple system. Morning faith activation. 10 minutes. Begin with 3 minutes of centered breathing. Read your core belief statements with absolute conviction. Visualize your day unfolding with perfect alignment to these truths. Feel profound gratitude for the manifestation already in process. Faith. Maintenance. Throughout the day, set reminders at 3-4 intervals to pause and reaffirm your conviction. When challenges arise, activate your faith response rather than fear reaction. Notice and mentally record evidence supporting your faith. Take at least one action daily that demonstrates your unwavering conviction. Evening faith integration. 10 minutes. Review the day's events through the lens of faith rather than fear. Record 3 specific instances where you maintained conviction. Identify any moments where fear emerged and create a specific faith response for similar future situations. Close with gratitude for the continued strengthening of your faith. This system creates a daily architecture that gradually transforms faith from an occasional state to your default consciousness. As Murphy taught, the feeling of faith is the most powerful mental stimulus known to man. Faith can move a mountain of negative mentality. Faith as your natural state. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to recognize that faith is not an artificial addition to your mind, but a return to your natural state. The human mind is designed for creativity, expansion, and manifestation. Fear, doubt, and limitation are acquired distortions of your original nature. The practices in this chapter are not creating something new, but removing the accumulated layers that have obscured your innate power. As you cultivate unwavering conviction, you are simply returning to your authentic relationship with the creative force that flows through you constantly. William Walker. Atkinson expressed this truth beautifully. Faith is but the recognition of the absolute truth that all power is from within, and that no real limitation can be imposed from without. You have always been a being of unlimited creative potential. Faith is simply the clear recognition of this eternal truth. In our final chapter, we will integrate all that you have learned into a comprehensive approach to conscious belief creation, a system for living deliberately as the author of your experience rather than its subject. But the foundation of that system is what you have developed here: the capacity to choose faith over fear in every moment, to maintain unwavering conviction regardless of appearances, and to align yourself with the infinite creative power that is your birthright. Conclusion: living beyond limitations through conscious belief creation. We have journeyed together through the magnificent landscape of your mind, exploring its hidden architecture and unlocking the extraordinary power that has always resided within you. What began as an exploration of limiting beliefs has culminated in the revelation of your true nature as a conscious creator of your reality. You stand now at the threshold of unlimited possibility, equipped with both understanding and practical tools to reshape your mental kingdom according to your highest vision. The journey we have undertaken is not merely intellectual, but transformational. You have discovered how your beliefs, those silent architects of your experience, were installed without your conscious participation. You have identified the specific limitations that have been controlling your life from the shadows of your subconscious. You have witnessed the remarkable mechanism through which these beliefs become your reality through the belief-reality loop. You have learned to question what previously went unquestioned, dismantling the mental prison that has confined your potential. You have crafted empowering beliefs to replace your limitations and reinforce them through the powerful tools of affirmation and visualization. And perhaps most importantly, you have developed the unwavering conviction, the faith over fear, that transforms intellectual understanding into lived experience. At the heart of this journey lies a profound truth that William Walker Atkinson expressed eloquently. Man's greatest discovery was the discovery of the power of his mind. His second greatest discovery was that he creates his destiny by the exercise of his mind power. This is not philosophical speculation, but practical reality. You create your life experience through the operation of your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously. The only choice is whether you will do so by default or by design. The conscious and subconscious divisions of your mind form a perfect creative partnership when properly understood and directed. Your conscious mind chooses. Your subconscious mind implements. Your conscious mind decides. Your subconscious mind manifests. Your conscious mind plants seeds. Your subconscious mind grows the harvest. This magnificent system was designed for your empowerment, not your limitation, and functions with flawless precision according to universal law. The power of your beliefs cannot be overstated. As James Allen declared, "Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are." Your beliefs determine what you are at the deepest level, not your temporary thoughts or sporadic efforts, but the fundamental convictions that shape your consistent thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and actions. By consciously choosing and reinforcing empowering beliefs, you literally recreate yourself from within, and your external reality naturally follows. The transformative power of focused will stand as one of the greatest forces available to you. This is not the forced, strained effort that many mistake for willpower, but the calm, centered concentration of mental energy toward your chosen outcomes. As Atkinson taught, the will is the instrument of the ego, the tool with which the mind creates. Through the deliberate direction of your will, you harness the infinite creative power that flows through you at every moment. Perhaps the most liberating discovery of our journey is that you are not bound by your past. The limitations you have experienced were not imposed upon you by external forces, but by the structure of beliefs within your own mind. And what has been constructed can be reconstructed. As Charles Harnell wrote, "The old regime is passing," and regime is from the Latin word, meaning rule, authority, or government. The old regime or authority of external things over us is passing away. The new regime or the authority of what is within us is being established. This new regime, the authority of your conscious mind over your life experience, represents the greatest revolution possible for a human being. It transforms you from a creature of circumstance to a creator of circumstance, from a leaf on the water to the current itself. This transformation is not granted by external authority, but claimed through your own recognition and application of the principles we have explored together. As you move forward from these pages into the laboratory of your daily life, remember that consistent application of these principles will produce consistent results. Your transformation will not occur through passive reading, but through active practice. Each time you identify and challenge a limiting belief, craft an empowering alternative, engage in affirmation and visualization, or choose faith over fear, you strengthen your mental mastery and accelerate your liberation. The world is filled with individuals who know these principles intellectually, but fail to apply them consistently. Knowledge without application remains potential rather than power. As Dumont observed, the difference between failure and success is doing a thing nearly right and doing it exactly right. Commit yourself to the exact right application of these principles, not merely their intellectual appreciation. What might your life become if you maintained unwavering faith in your highest vision? What experiences would unfold if you consistently directed your mental energy toward expansion rather than contraction? What achievements would manifest if you aligned your conscious and subconscious mind in perfect creative partnership? These questions are not rhetorical, but invitations to practical exploration. You have within you, at this very moment, everything necessary to create an extraordinary life. Not in some distant future when circumstances align perfectly, but now, with your current resources in your present situation, with the mental tools you already possess. As Joseph Murphy declared, the answer to your prayer is determined by your mental attitude. Your mental attitude is always your choice, regardless of external conditions. I leave you with this final truth. You are far more powerful than you have allowed yourself to believe. The limitations you have accepted are not the boundaries of your potential, but merely the current dimensions of your self-concept. As you expand this self-concept through the deliberate application of the principles in this book, you will discover capacities within yourself that you may have glimpsed, but never fully claimed. The journey of mental mastery is not a destination, but an ongoing exploration of your own magnificent potential. Each limitation transcended reveals new horizons of possibility. Each belief transformed unveils previously invisible opportunities. Each act of faith rewarded strengthens your connection to the infinite creative power that is your birthright. Go forward now with the confidence that comes from understanding the laws of mind. Apply what you have learned with persistence and sincerity. Expect challenges, for they strengthen your resolve. Anticipate resistance, for it reveals where your greatest growth awaits. But above all, maintain unwavering faith in the perfect operation of mental law and your own inherent power to create the life you truly desire. The invisible walls of belief that have contained your potential are now visible to you, and what can be seen can be changed. The time has come to live beyond limitations through the conscious creation of your beliefs. This is your moment. This is your power. This is your truth. What invisible walls have you built in your mind that are holding you back right now? Think about it. How many times have your beliefs whispered, "You can't," "It's not possible," or "That's not for people like you"? These silent architects have been designing your reality without your permission, but today you've discovered that you hold the power to tear them down and rebuild according to your own magnificent vision. Begin your transformation today with this simple practice. For the next 7 days, spend 5 minutes each morning identifying one limiting belief that surfaces in your thoughts. Write it down, challenge it, using the questioning techniques you've learned, and craft an empowering alternative statement. Then throughout the day, catch yourself when the old belief appears and consciously replace it with your new empowering belief. This single practice, done consistently, will begin to create cracks in those invisible walls. If this guide has sparked something within you, please hit that like button and subscribe to Vibration Architect for more content that will help you reclaim your mental sovereignty. Drop a comment below sharing one limiting belief you're ready to tear down. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And be sure to join us next Tuesday when we explore the powerful principles of manifesting abundance, where you'll discover how to align your newfound mental power with the universal laws of prosperity. Your journey to conscious creation has only just begun,